Welcome to Holistic Literary, your go-to channel for unlocking the secrets of effective communication. Today, we're diving into the world of human connection with our latest book, Mastering Effective Communication, the Ultimate Guide. Imagine effortlessly conveying your thoughts, captivating your audience, and building relationships that last. Whether you're navigating the complexities of workplace interactions, striving to connect on a deeper level with loved ones, or simply aiming to express yourself more clearly, effective communication is the key to success. In this ultimate guide, we'll explore practical strategies, insightful tips, and real-life examples to help you hone your communication skills. From understanding nonverbal cues to mastering the art of empathetic listening, we'll cover everything you need to become a communication virtuoso. So, if you're ready to transform the way you connect with the world and achieve your personal and professional goals, you're in the right place. Stay tuned and join us on this journey to mastering effective communication. Key themes: effective communication, understanding nonverbal communication, the art of empathetic communication, building meaningful relationships, effective communication in the workplace, overcoming barriers to communication, mastering public speaking, the impact of digital communication, communication for personal development, mending broken communication, cultivating listening skills, using communication to achieve success, communication in times of stress, the power of storytelling in communication. Chapter 1: Introduction to Effective Communication. The first chapter of Mastering Effective Communication, the Ultimate Guide. Effective communication is the foundation of every successful interaction, whether in your personal life, professional environment, or even during casual encounters. In this chapter, we'll explore what makes communication effective and why it's crucial in every aspect of life. We'll also provide detailed examples to illustrate these concepts. Understanding the basics. Effective communication is more than just exchanging information. It's about understanding the emotions and intentions behind the information. Here are the core components of communication with real-life examples. Sender: the person who initiates the message. Example: a project manager sends an email to their team outlining the new project guidelines. Message: the information, emotion, or intent being conveyed. Example: the email details the project's objectives, deadlines, and team roles. Medium: the method used to deliver the message. Example: the project manager uses email as the medium for distributing the guidelines. Receiver: the person or group for whom the message is intended. Example: the team members who are expected to read and understand the email. Feedback: the response from the receiver that allows the sender to gauge the effectiveness of the communication. Example: team members reply with questions for clarification or confirmation that they have understood the guidelines. The role of clarity and conciseness. One of the cornerstones of effective communication is clarity. When your message is clear, it leaves little room for misunderstanding. Here are some strategies to ensure clarity with real-life examples. Know your purpose. Be clear about what you want to achieve. Example: a teacher explaining a new math concept aims to ensure that students understand the steps involved. Simplify your message. Avoid jargon and overly complex sentences. Example: a doctor explaining a diagnosis to a patient uses simple language instead of medical jargon, ensuring the patient understands their condition and treatment plan. Organize your thoughts. Present your ideas in a logical order. Example: a lawyer presenting a case in court follows a structured argument, starting with the facts, then the evidence, and finally the conclusion. Active listening. Communication is a two-way street, and listening is just as important as speaking. Active listening involves fully engaging with the speaker, understanding their message, and responding thoughtfully. Techniques for active listening include, with real-life examples. Maintaining eye contact shows that you are focused and interested. Example: during a job interview, maintaining eye contact with the interviewer demonstrates engagement and confidence. Nodding and verbal acknowledgments encourages the speaker and shows understanding. Example: in a counseling session, nodding while a client speaks shows empathy and encourages them to continue sharing. Asking questions clarifies points and demonstrates engagement. Example: in a classroom, students asking questions about a lecture topic helps ensure they understand the material. Summarizing and reflecting reinforces understanding and ensures accurate interpretation. Example: during a business meeting, a team member repeating back key points confirms mutual understanding and aligns everyone on the next steps. Nonverbal communication. Much of what we communicate is nonverbal. Our body language, facial expressions, gestures, and even our tone of voice convey powerful messages. Understanding and effectively using nonverbal communication can enhance your overall communication skills. Here are some examples. Body language. Open postures and positive gestures can reinforce your message. Example: standing with an open posture during a presentation makes you seem approachable and confident. Facial expressions reflect your emotions and add context to your words. Example: smiling while greeting a customer can make the interaction more pleasant and welcoming. Tone of voice can convey emotions and emphasize key points. Example: a teacher using a warm tone when addressing students can make them feel more comfortable and open to participating in class discussions. The importance of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's a crucial component of effective communication, helping to build trust and rapport. Practicing empathy involves with real-life examples. Putting yourself in others' shoes. Try to see things from their perspective. Example: a manager considering the workload of their team before assigning new tasks shows understanding and respect for their time and effort. Acknowledging their feelings. Validate their emotions without judgment. Example: a friend comforting another by acknowledging their feelings of loss and offering support. Responding appropriately. Show understanding through your words and actions. Example: a customer service representative addressing a complaint with genuine concern and providing a thoughtful resolution. Overcoming communication barriers. Communication barriers can hinder effective interaction. These barriers can be physical, for example, noise, psychological, for example, stress, or linguistic, for example, language differences. Strategies to overcome these barriers include, with real-life examples. Choosing the right environment. Ensure it's conducive to communication. Example: holding a private meeting in a quiet room instead of a noisy cafe ensures better focus and clarity. Managing stress. Stay calm and composed to communicate clearly. Example: taking deep breaths before giving a speech helps reduce anxiety and allows you to speak more clearly and confidently. Adapting your language. Use language that is appropriate for your audience. Example: a software developer explaining technical issues to non-technical stakeholders using simple terms and avoiding jargon. Building a strong foundation. By understanding these fundamental principles, you'll be well on your way to becoming an effective communicator. This chapter serves as the foundation for the more advanced techniques and strategies we'll explore in the following chapters. Whether you're looking to improve your professional interactions, enhance your personal relationships, or simply communicate more effectively in everyday situations, mastering these basics is the first step. Chapter 2: Understanding Nonverbal Communication. In this chapter, we're diving into the fascinating world of nonverbal communication. Trust me, this is where things get really interesting. You see, what we say with our words is just a tiny part of how we communicate. The rest? Well, it's all in our body language, facial expressions, gestures, and even our tone of voice. So let's break it down with some real-life examples to make it all crystal clear. Body language, the unspoken words. Body language can say so much more than words ever could. Let's talk about a classic scenario, a job interview. Picture this. You walk into the interview room, shoulders back, head held high, and a confident stride. You extend your hand for a firm handshake, and as you sit down, you keep an open posture, no crossed arms or slouching. What does this say to your interviewer? It screams confidence and readiness. Now, imagine if you walked in hunched over, avoided eye contact, and crossed your arms. It wouldn't exactly scream, "Hire me," right? Facial expressions, the windows to our emotions. Our faces can express a myriad of emotions without us even realizing it. Let's consider a simple yet powerful example: smiling. You're at a family gathering, meeting some relatives you haven't seen in a while. As you approach them, you give a warm, genuine smile. Instantly, you see their faces light up in return. That smile has just conveyed friendliness, happiness, and openness. Compare that to a neutral or frowning face, and the difference in reception is night and day. Gestures, adding meaning to our words. Gestures can emphasize what we're saying or even replace words altogether. Imagine you're giving a presentation at work. Here's how you can use gestures to your advantage. While explaining a point, you use your hands to illustrate the size of the problem or the direction of a trend. These visual cues help your audience follow along and grasp the concept better. Now, if you kept your hands glued to your sides, your presentation might come off as flat and less engaging. Tone of voice, the music of our speech. The tone of voice can completely change the meaning of your words. Let's look at a common situation: giving feedback. You're a team leader, and you need to give constructive feedback to one of your team members. If you use a calm, supportive tone, saying something like, "I noticed a few areas where we can improve, and I'd love to help you work on them," it comes across as helpful and encouraging. But if you use a harsh, critical tone saying, "You really messed up here," it can demoralize and alienate the person. Combining it all, a real-life scenario. Let's put it all together in a real-life scenario. Imagine you're at a networking event, hoping to make some valuable connections. Here's how you can use nonverbal communication to make a great impression. Approach. You walk up to someone with a confident posture, maintaining good eye contact. Greeting. You give a firm handshake and a warm smile. Conversation. As you chat, You use open gestures to emphasize your points and a friendly tone to keep the conversation engaging. Listening. When the other person speaks, you nod and maintain eye contact, showing that you're genuinely interested. By the end of the conversation, you've conveyed confidence, friendliness, and interest, all without saying a single word about it. So, next time you're in a conversation, pay attention to your nonverbal cues. They can make all the difference in how your message is received. Stick around, because in the next chapter, we're going to dive into the art of empathetic communication, where we'll learn how to truly connect with others on a deeper level. See you there. Chapter 3: The Art of Empathetic Communication. Now that we've tackled the basics of effective communication and the power of nonverbal cues, it's time to dive into something truly transformative: empathetic communication. This chapter is all about connecting with others on a deeper level by understanding and sharing their feelings. Trust me, mastering empathy in communication can change your relationships and interactions for the better. Let's get started with some real-life examples to illustrate how empathy works in everyday situations. What is empathetic communication? Empathetic communication goes beyond just hearing words. It's about understanding the emotions behind those words and responding in a way that shows you genuinely care. Think of it as putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Let's break down how this works with some relatable scenarios. Listening to understand, not just to respond. A big part of empathetic communication is listening with the intent to understand, not just waiting for your turn to speak. Here's a common situation. Imagine your friend Sarah is telling you about a tough day at work. She's visibly upset, explaining how her boss criticized her in front of the entire team. Instead of immediately jumping in with advice or your own similar story, you listen attentively. You nod, maintain eye contact, and say, "That sounds really frustrating. I can see why you're upset." By acknowledging her feelings, you show Sarah that you truly understand her experience. Validating emotions. Validation is another key component of empathetic communication. It involves recognizing and affirming someone else's feelings without judgment. Here's how it plays out. Your partner comes home from a stressful day and starts venting about a conflict with a coworker. Instead of saying, "You're overreacting," or "Just ignore them," you respond with, "I understand why you're feeling this way. It sounds like a really difficult situation." This validation helps your partner feel heard and supported, which can diffuse tension and strengthen your connection. Using empathetic body language. Nonverbal cues play a huge role in showing empathy. Let's revisit the scenario with your friend Sarah. While Sarah is talking about her tough day, you lean in slightly, nod your head, and keep your arms uncrossed. These nonverbal signals show that you're engaged and sympathetic. If you were to cross your arms, look away, or check your phone, it would send the opposite message, making her feel dismissed or unimportant. Empathy in conflict resolution. Empathy can be a game changer in resolving conflicts. Let's look at an example. You and your colleague, John, have had a disagreement about a project approach. Instead of insisting on your point of view, you take a moment to understand John's perspective. You say, "John, I can see you've put a lot of thought into this, and I understand why you feel strongly about your approach. Can you help me understand more about your reasoning?" This approach not only shows respect for John's opinion, but also opens up a dialogue where both parties feel heard and valued. The power of I statements. Using I statements instead of you statements can prevent defensive reactions and foster empathy. Here's an example. During a discussion about household chores, instead of saying, "You never help with the cleaning," you could say, "I feel overwhelmed when I have to do all the cleaning by myself. It would really help me if we could share the chores." This way, you're expressing your feelings and needs without blaming the other person, making it easier for them to empathize with you. Empathy in professional settings. Empathy isn't just for personal relationships, it's crucial in the workplace too. Here's how. Imagine you're a manager, and one of your team members, Alex, has been missing deadlines. Instead of reprimanding Alex harshly, you approach the situation with empathy. You say, "Alex, I've noticed you've been struggling to meet deadlines lately. Is there something going on that's making it difficult for you? How can I support you?" This empathetic approach can uncover underlying issues such as workload, stress, or personal problems, and opens up a path to finding a constructive solution together. Empathy in customer service. For those in customer-facing roles, empathy can turn a dissatisfied customer into a loyal one. Here's an example. A customer calls in, upset about a delayed order. Instead of responding defensively, the representative listens patiently and says, "I understand how frustrating this delay must be for you. I'm really sorry for the inconvenience. Let's see what we can do to resolve this quickly." This empathetic response acknowledges the customer's feelings and focuses on finding a solution, which can greatly improve their experience. Conclusion: practicing empathy. Empathetic communication is a skill that takes practice, but its impact is profound. By listening to understand, validating emotions, using empathetic body language, and approaching conflicts and professional interactions with empathy, you can build stronger, more meaningful connections with others. So next time you're in a conversation, remember to take a step back and consider the other person's feelings. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it and how you show that you care. Stick around, because in the next chapter, we're going to explore how to build meaningful relationships through effective communication. See you there. Chapter 4: Building Meaningful Relationships. We've talked about effective communication and the power of empathy. Now let's dive into something that's at the heart of human experience: building meaningful relationships. Whether it's with friends, family, colleagues, or romantic partners, strong relationships enrich our lives. This chapter will show you how to use communication to create and maintain these valuable connections. And of course, we'll include some detailed examples to bring these concepts to life. The foundation of trust. Trust is the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship. Without it, communication can falter, and connections can weaken. So, how do you build trust? Let's explore this with a real-life example. Imagine you've started a new job, and you want to build a good relationship with your manager. One way to build trust is by being reliable and consistent. If you say you'll complete a project by a certain date, make sure you deliver. Over time, your manager will come to trust that you can be counted on, which strengthens your professional relationship. Open and honest communication. Honesty is crucial in any relationship. It's about being transparent and genuine with your thoughts and feelings. Let's consider a personal example. You and your best friend have had a misunderstanding. Instead of letting it fester, you decide to address it directly. You say, "I felt hurt when you canceled our plans last minute. Can we talk about what happened?" This approach not only clears the air, but also reinforces the importance of honesty in your friendship. Active listening in relationships. Active listening, as we discussed earlier, is key to understanding and connecting with others. Here's how it can play out in a romantic relationship. Your partner comes home, visibly upset about something that happened at work. Instead of immediately offering solutions or dismissing their feelings, you sit down, maintain eye contact, and listen. You might say, "That sounds really tough. I'm here for you. Do you want to talk more about it?" This shows your partner that you value their feelings and are willing to support them. Showing appreciation and gratitude. Everyone likes to feel appreciated. Expressing gratitude can significantly enhance your relationships. Here's an example from a family setting. After a long day, your spouse makes dinner for the family. Instead of taking it for granted, you make a point to say, "Thank you for making dinner. It means a lot to come home to a cooked meal." This simple act of appreciation can strengthen your bond and make your partner feel valued. Setting healthy boundaries. Healthy relationships require boundaries. It's about knowing and respecting each other's limits. Here's how this can be applied with friends. You have a friend who loves to call and chat late into the night, but you need to be up early for work. You might say, "I love our conversations, but I need to get to bed earlier. Can we catch up at a different time?" By setting this boundary, you're taking care of your own needs while maintaining the friendship. Conflict resolution. Conflicts are inevitable in any relationship, but how you handle them can make all the difference. Here's a workplace scenario. You and a coworker disagree on the best approach for a project. Instead of arguing, you say, "I see we have different perspectives. Can we discuss the pros and cons of each approach and find a solution that works best for the team?" This way, you're addressing the conflict constructively and collaboratively. Emotional support. Being there for someone emotionally can deepen your relationship. Let's look at an example with a family member. Your sibling is going through a tough breakup. Instead of giving advice, you simply offer to spend time with them, saying, "I'm here for you. Let's do something together to take your mind off things." Sometimes just being present and offering support is all it takes to show you care. Quality time. Spending quality time together is essential for building meaningful relationships. Here's how it might look in a friendship. You and your friend decide to have a weekly coffee date to catch up. During these meetups, you both put away your phones and focus on each other, sharing what's going on in your lives. This dedicated time helps strengthen your bond and keeps your friendship strong. Reciprocity and balance. Healthy relationships are balanced, with both parties giving and receiving. Here's an example from a romantic relationship. You notice your partner has been doing most of the household chores lately. To restore balance, you might say, "I've noticed you've been taking care of a lot around the house. How about I handle dinner and clean up tonight?" By reciprocating the effort, you show that you value and appreciate your partner's contributions. Conclusion: nurturing your relationships. Building and maintaining meaningful relationships takes effort, but the rewards are immense. By practicing open and honest communication, actively listening, showing appreciation, setting boundaries, resolving conflicts constructively, offering emotional support, spending quality time, and ensuring reciprocity, you can create strong, lasting connections. Remember, relationships are a two-way street. It's about giving as much as you receive and being there for each other through thick and thin. Stick around, because in the next chapter, we'll explore how to communicate effectively in the workplace. See you there. Chapter 5: Effective Communication in the Workplace. We've explored the foundations of effective communication, nonverbal cues, empathetic communication, and building meaningful relationships. Now it's time to take these skills into the workplace. Whether you're a manager, a team member, or just starting your career, effective communication is crucial for success and harmony at work. Let's dive into practical strategies and real-life examples to help you navigate workplace communication like a pro. The importance of clear instructions. Clear communication starts with giving clear instructions. Here's a common scenario. You're a project manager assigning tasks for a new project. Instead of saying, "Just get started on the project," you provide detailed instructions. Please start by creating an outline of the project scope, include the main objectives, key milestones, and expected timelines. Let's review it together in our meeting on Thursday. This clarity ensures everyone knows exactly what's expected and helps prevent misunderstandings. Active listening in meetings. Meetings are a staple of the workplace, and active listening can make them more productive. Imagine this. During a team meeting, one of your colleagues is presenting a new idea. Instead of half listening while checking your emails, you focus entirely on what they're saying. You nod, take notes, and ask relevant questions. After the meeting, you summarize their key points to confirm your understanding. So, if I understood correctly, you're suggesting we implement a new CRM system to improve customer tracking. Is that right? This shows respect for their ideas and helps ensure everyone is on the same page. Constructive feedback. Giving and receiving feedback is a critical part of workplace communication. Here's how to do it constructively. You're a team leader, and you notice that one of your team members, Lisa, is struggling with her reports. Instead of criticizing her work, you provide constructive feedback. "Lisa, I noticed some inconsistencies in the last report. Let's sit down together and review it. I can show you some techniques to ensure accuracy." This approach is supportive and focuses on improvement rather than blame. Managing conflicts. Conflicts are inevitable in any workplace, but handling them effectively can lead to better outcomes. Here's an example. You and a colleague, Mark, disagree on how to approach a project. Instead of letting the disagreement escalate, you invite Mark for a private discussion. You say, "Mark, I value your perspective. Can we discuss our different approaches and find a compromise that works for both of us?" By addressing the conflict directly and respectfully, you're more likely to reach a mutually beneficial solution. The power of empathy. Empathy in the workplace can enhance team dynamics and morale. Let's see how. Your coworker, Jane, has been unusually quiet and withdrawn. Instead of ignoring it, you take a moment to check in with her. "Hey Jane, I've noticed you seem a bit down lately. Is everything okay? I'm here if you want to talk." This shows that you care about her well-being, fostering a supportive work environment. Effective email communication. Emails are a primary mode of communication in most workplaces, so writing clear and concise emails is essential. Here's how to do it. Instead of writing a long, rambling email, you keep it concise and to the point. For example, "Hi team, just a reminder that our project update meeting is scheduled for 10 a.m. on Thursday in conference room B. Please come prepared with your progress reports. Best, your name." This clarity helps ensure your message is understood quickly and clearly. Nonverbal communication at work. Nonverbal cues can significantly impact workplace interactions. Here's an example. During a presentation, you maintain an open posture, make eye contact with your audience, and use hand gestures to emphasize key points. These nonverbal signals convey confidence and engagement, making your presentation more effective. Building rapport with colleagues. Building good relationships with colleagues can enhance teamwork and collaboration. Here's a practical approach. You're new to the team and want to build rapport. You take the initiative to have lunch with different team members, ask about their roles, and show genuine interest in their experiences and perspectives. Over time, these small efforts help you build strong, positive relationships with your colleagues. Handling difficult conversations. Difficult conversations are part of any workplace, whether it's discussing performance issues or addressing misunderstandings. Here's how to approach them. You need to address a performance issue with a team member, Tom. You schedule a private meeting and start the conversation with empathy. Tom, I appreciate your hard work and dedication. I've noticed some areas where we can improve, and I'd like to discuss how we can work together to address them. This approach is respectful and focuses on collaboration rather than confrontation. Conclusion: mastering workplace communication. Effective communication in the workplace is about clarity, empathy, and respect. By giving clear instructions, actively listening, providing constructive feedback, managing conflicts, and showing empathy, you can create a positive and productive work environment. Remember, good communication skills can set you apart and open doors to new opportunities. So, keep practicing and refining these skills, and you'll see the benefits in your professional life. Chapter 6: Overcoming Barriers to Communication. We've covered a lot about effective communication, but what happens when things don't go as smoothly? Barriers to communication can pop up in any interaction, causing misunderstandings and frustration. In this chapter, we'll explore common barriers and practical strategies to overcome them. Let's dive in with detailed examples to help you navigate these challenges. Understanding communication barriers. Communication barriers can be physical, psychological, or linguistic. Recognizing these barriers is the first step in overcoming them. Let's break them down with some real-life examples. Physical barriers. Physical barriers are environmental factors that impede communication. Here's a typical scenario. Example: you're on a conference call with your team, but the connection is poor, making it hard to hear each other clearly. To overcome this, you might suggest using a more reliable communication platform or rescheduling the call to a time when the connection is better. Additionally, using noise-canceling headphones and finding a quiet space can help minimize these physical barriers. Psychological barriers. Psychological barriers involve emotions, attitudes, and mental states that affect communication. Here's how to handle them. Example: you're feeling stressed and distracted due to a tight deadline. When your colleague asks for your input on a project, you snap at them without meaning to. Recognizing your stress, you take a moment to calm down and then apologize to your colleague. You might say, "I'm sorry for snapping earlier. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed right now, but let's discuss your project." Acknowledging and addressing your emotional state helps clear the way for better communication. Linguistic barriers. Linguistic barriers arise from differences in language or jargon. Here's a way to tackle them. Example: you're working with an international team, and some members are not fluent in your language. During a meeting, you notice that your colleagues seem confused. To overcome this barrier, you simplify your language, avoid jargon, and use visual aids to support your points. You could also follow up with written summaries to ensure everyone is on the same page. Cultural barriers. Cultural differences can lead to misunderstandings. Here's how to navigate them. Example: you're collaborating with a team from a different country, and you notice that they have different communication styles. While you prefer direct feedback, they value indirect and polite communication. To bridge this gap, you adapt your style to be more culturally sensitive, perhaps saying, "I really appreciate your efforts. Here's a suggestion that might help us improve." This shows respect for their cultural norms while still conveying your message. Technological barriers. Technology can sometimes hinder communication rather than help. Here's an example. You're using a new project management tool that some team members find difficult to navigate. This leads to missed deadlines and confusion. To overcome this, you offer a training session to help everyone get comfortable with the tool. You might say, "I've noticed some challenges with the new tool. Let's have a short training session to ensure everyone feels confident using it." Providing support and resources helps reduce technological barriers. Perceptual barriers. Perceptual barriers occur when people have different interpretations of the same message. Here's how to address them. Example, you send an email to your team outlining a new policy, but some members interpret it as micromanagement, while others see it as supportive guidance. To clarify, you hold a meeting to discuss the policy and its intentions. You might say, "I want to ensure we're all on the same page regarding the new policy. It's meant to provide clear guidelines and support, not to micromanage. Let's talk about any concerns you might have." This helps align everyone's perceptions. Overcoming barriers in remote communication. Remote work introduces unique communication barriers. Here's a strategy. Example, your team is spread across different time zones, making it hard to schedule meetings. To address this, you establish a clear communication protocol, such as setting core hours when everyone is available and using asynchronous communication tools like shared documents and project management platforms. You might say, to accommodate everyone's time zones, let's agree on core hours for real-time meetings and use our project management tool for updates outside these hours. This ensures smoother communication despite geographical barriers. Encouraging open dialogue. Encouraging open dialogue can help overcome many communication barriers. Here's an example. In your team, some members are hesitant to speak up in meetings due to fear of judgment. To create a more open environment, you establish a rule that all ideas are welcome and valued. You might say, "Let's make sure everyone feels comfortable sharing their thoughts. Remember, there are no bad ideas here, and we're all here to support each other." This encourages participation and reduces psychological barriers. Conclusion: navigating communication barriers. Overcoming communication barriers is essential for effective interaction. By recognizing and addressing physical, psychological, linguistic, cultural, technological, and perceptual barriers, you can improve your communication skills and foster better understanding. Remember, patience and empathy are key. By actively working to bridge these gaps, you can create a more inclusive and effective communication environment. Stick around, because in the next chapter, we're going to explore the art of mastering public speaking. See you there. Chapter 7: Mastering Public Speaking. We've covered a lot of ground so far, from the basics of effective communication to overcoming barriers. Now, let's tackle a skill that can truly set you apart: public speaking. Whether you're presenting in a meeting, giving a speech at an event, or simply speaking up in a group, mastering public speaking can boost your confidence and help you convey your message powerfully. Let's dive into some practical strategies and real-life examples to help you become a compelling public speaker. Understanding the basics of public speaking. Public speaking is about more than just talking in front of a crowd. It's about connecting with your audience, conveying your message clearly, and leaving a lasting impression. Here's how to get started. Preparation is key. Preparation is the foundation of effective public speaking. Here's a detailed example. You're scheduled to give a presentation at a conference next month. Instead of waiting until the last minute, you start preparing early. You research your topic thoroughly, create an outline, and then develop your slides. You also practice your presentation multiple times, refining your delivery each time. By the day of the conference, you feel confident and well prepared, ready to engage your audience. Know your audience. Understanding your audience helps tailor your message to their interests and needs. Here's an example. You're giving a talk to a group of high school students about career opportunities in tech. You know that keeping them engaged requires relatable content. You start with a personal story about how you got interested in tech, then highlight cool, cutting-edge technologies they can relate to, like AI and virtual reality. By making your content relevant, you capture their attention and interest. Crafting a compelling message. A clear and compelling message is at the heart of any great speech. Here's how to craft yours. You're speaking at a company meeting about the importance of customer service. Instead of listing boring statistics, you tell a story about a customer who was so impressed with your service that they became a loyal advocate for your brand. You then connect this story to your main point. Excellent customer service leads to lasting customer relationships and business success. This approach makes your message memorable and impactful. Using nonverbal communication. Your body language and facial expressions can enhance your message. Let's see how. During your presentation, you maintain good posture, use open gestures, and make eye contact with different members of your audience. When you talk about exciting points, you smile and use enthusiastic gestures. When discussing serious issues, your expression and gestures reflect the gravity of the topic. This nonverbal communication helps convey your message more effectively and keeps the audience engaged. Managing public speaking anxiety. Even seasoned speakers can feel nervous. Here's how to manage it. You're feeling anxious before a big presentation. To calm your nerves, you practice deep breathing exercises and visualize yourself giving a successful presentation. You also remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes and that the audience is there to learn from you, not to judge you. When you step onto the stage, these techniques help you feel more relaxed and focused. Engaging your audience. Engaging your audience keeps them interested and makes your speech more interactive. Here's an example. During your presentation, you pose questions to the audience and encourage them to share their thoughts. For instance, you might ask, "How many of you have had a great customer service experience? What made it memorable?" This interaction not only keeps the audience engaged, but also makes them feel involved in the discussion. Handling Q&A sessions. Q&A sessions can be challenging, but they're also an opportunity to connect with your audience. Here's how to handle them. At the end of your presentation, you open the floor for questions. One audience member asks a tough question you hadn't anticipated. Instead of getting flustered, you pause, take a deep breath, and say, "That's a great question. Here's how I would approach that issue." If you don't know the answer, it's okay to say, "I don't have that information right now, but I'd be happy to follow up with you after the session." This shows honesty and a willingness to engage with your audience. Using visual aids effectively. Visual aids can enhance your presentation, but only if used correctly. Here's an example. Example, you're using slides to support your talk. Instead of cluttering them with too much text, you use high-quality images, clear charts, and bullet points that highlight key information. You ensure each slide complements your speech without distracting from it. This makes your presentation visually appealing and easier for the audience to follow. Practicing your delivery. Practice makes perfect, especially in public speaking. Here's how to do it. Example, you have an important presentation coming up, so you practice delivering it in front of a mirror, then in front of a small group of friends or colleagues. You ask for feedback on your pace, tone, and body language. You also record yourself to identify areas for improvement. This practice helps you refine your delivery and build confidence. Conclusion: becoming a masterful public speaker. Mastering public speaking takes time and practice, but the rewards are worth it. By preparing thoroughly, understanding your audience, crafting a compelling message, using nonverbal communication, managing anxiety, engaging your audience, handling Q&A sessions, using visual aids effectively, and practicing your delivery, you can become a powerful and confident speaker. Remember, public speaking is a skill that anyone can learn with dedication and effort. So, keep practicing and pushing your boundaries. Stick around, because in the next chapter, we're going to explore the impact of digital communication. See you there. Chapter 8: The Impact of Digital Communication. We've explored many facets of effective communication, from empathetic listening to mastering public speaking. Now, let's dive into the world of digital communication. In today's tech-savvy world, digital communication is everywhere, from emails and social media to video calls and instant messaging. Understanding its impact and mastering the nuances can greatly enhance your ability to connect and collaborate in the digital age. Let's break down the essentials with some practical examples. The evolution of digital communication. Digital communication has revolutionized how we connect with others. Let's start with a quick overview. Example: think about how we used to communicate before the internet. Letters, landline phones, and face-to-face meetings. Today, we can send an email across the globe in seconds, video chat with friends and colleagues, and share our thoughts on social media instantly. This shift has made communication faster and more convenient, but it also brings new challenges. Email etiquette. Email is a primary mode of professional communication. Here's how to use it effectively. Example: you need to send a follow-up email after a meeting. Instead of a vague subject line like meeting follow-up, you use action items from date meeting. Your email is concise and to the point. Hi team. Thank you for a productive meeting today. Here are the key action items. Task 1, person responsible, due date. Task 2, person responsible, due date. Please let me know if you have any questions. Best. Your name. This clarity ensures that everyone knows what's expected and by when, reducing the chances of misunderstandings. Navigating social media. Social media platforms are powerful tools for personal and professional networking. Here's how to navigate them. Example: you're using LinkedIn to build your professional network. Instead of randomly adding connections, you personalize your connection requests. Hi name. I came across your profile and was impressed by your work in industry. I'd love to connect and learn more about your experience at company. Best. Your name. This approach shows genuine interest and can lead to more meaningful connections. Video conferencing best practices. With remote work becoming more common, video conferencing is essential. Here's how to make the most of it. Example: you're hosting a virtual team meeting. To ensure it runs smoothly, you test your equipment beforehand to avoid technical glitches. Send an agenda ahead of time so everyone knows what to expect. Start the meeting with a quick icebreaker to build rapport. Encourage participation by asking questions and inviting feedback. By following these steps, you create a more engaging and productive virtual meeting environment. Managing instant messaging. Instant messaging is great for quick communication but can be overwhelming. Here's how to manage it. Example: you're part of a busy project team using Slack for communication. To avoid distractions, you set specific times to check and respond to messages instead of constantly monitoring them. Use status updates to let your team know when you're available or focused on deep work. Create dedicated channels for different topics to keep conversations organized. These strategies help you stay focused and manage your time more effectively. Digital communication and tone. The tone can be tricky to convey in digital communication. Here's how to ensure your message comes across correctly. Example: you're sending a feedback email to a colleague. To avoid sounding harsh, you start with positive feedback. I really appreciate the effort you put into this project. Provide constructive criticism. One area for improvement could be the formatting of the report. Clear headings would enhance readability. End on a positive note. Overall, great job. I'm looking forward to working on the next project together. This balanced approach ensures your feedback is well received and helpful. Ensuring clarity and understanding. Misunderstandings are common in digital communication due to the lack of nonverbal cues. Here's how to ensure clarity. Example: you're assigning tasks via email. Instead of writing, "Please handle the client report," you specify, "Hi name. Could you please complete the client report by Thursday?" Ensure it includes the following sections. List sections. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Best. Your name. Providing specific details helps avoid confusion and ensures the task is completed as expected. Digital communication and privacy. Privacy is a significant concern in digital communication. Here's how to protect it. Example: you're sharing sensitive information via email. To enhance security, you use encrypted email services or tools. Avoid sharing confidential information over unsecured networks. Verify the recipient's email address before sending sensitive documents. These precautions help protect your information and maintain privacy. Adapting to different platforms. Different digital platforms have unique communication styles. Here's how to adapt. Example: you're using Twitter to engage with your audience. Given the character limit, you craft concise and impactful messages. Use hashtags to reach a broader audience. Engage with followers by responding to comments and retweeting relevant content. Adapting your style to fit the platform helps you communicate more effectively. Conclusion: embracing digital communication. Digital communication is a powerful tool that, when used effectively, can enhance personal and professional interactions. By mastering email etiquette, navigating social media, managing video conferencing, and understanding the nuances of tone and privacy, you can communicate more effectively in the digital age. Remember, the key is to be clear, respectful, and adaptable. Stick around, because in the next chapter, we're going to explore communication for personal development. See you there. Chapter 9: Communication for Personal Development. We've explored the intricacies of digital communication, and now it's time to focus on how communication can be a powerful tool for personal development. Effective communication not only helps you connect with others, but also plays a crucial role in your personal growth. Let's dive into how you can use communication to boost your self-awareness, build confidence, and achieve your personal goals, with some practical examples to guide you. Self-awareness through communication. Understanding yourself is the first step toward personal development, and communication plays a key role in this process. Here's how. Example: you decide to start journaling as a way to communicate with yourself. Each day, you write about your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Over time, this practice helps you recognize patterns in your behavior and emotions, providing insights into your strengths and areas for improvement. By communicating with yourself through journaling, you develop greater self-awareness and can make more informed decisions about your personal growth. Building confidence. Effective communication can significantly boost your confidence. Let's explore this with an example. Example: you've always been nervous about public speaking. To overcome this, you join a local Toastmasters club where you practice giving speeches in a supportive environment. With each speech, you receive constructive feedback and gradually become more comfortable speaking in front of others. This regular practice and positive reinforcement help build your confidence, not just in public speaking, but in other areas of your life as well. Setting and achieving goals. Clear communication is essential for setting and achieving personal goals. Here's how to do it. Example: you have a goal to improve your fitness level. Instead of keeping this goal vague, you communicate it clearly by writing it down. I will run a 5K race in 6 months. You break down this goal into smaller, manageable steps, such as running 3 times a week, gradually increasing your distance, and joining a running group for support. By clearly defining your goal and the steps to achieve it, you stay motivated and track your progress more effectively. Enhancing relationships. Communication is the cornerstone of strong relationships, which are vital for personal development. Here's an example. Example: you want to strengthen your relationship with your sibling. You decide to initiate regular check-ins where you openly share your thoughts and listen to theirs. During these conversations, you practice active listening and empathy, showing genuine interest in their life. This open communication helps build trust and deepens your bond, enhancing your personal development through a stronger support system. Seeking feedback. Constructive feedback from others is invaluable for personal growth. Here's how to seek and use it. Example: you're aiming to improve your leadership skills at work. You ask your colleagues for feedback on your performance, specifically on areas where you can improve. They suggest you work on being more decisive in meetings. Taking this feedback to heart, you focus on making quicker, more confident decisions and seek further feedback to track your progress. By actively seeking and applying feedback, you accelerate your personal development. Managing stress. Effective communication can help you manage stress and maintain mental well-being. Let's look at an example. Example: you're feeling overwhelmed with work and personal responsibilities. Instead of bottling up your stress, you communicate your feelings to a trusted friend or therapist. By talking about your stressors, you gain new perspectives and receive support. Additionally, you practice self-communication through mindfulness techniques, such as meditation, to stay grounded. These communication strategies help you manage stress more effectively. Learning and growth. Continuous learning is a vital part of personal development, and communication facilitates this process. Here's how. Example: you're interested in learning a new skill like coding. You enroll in an online course and actively participate in the community forums, asking questions and sharing your progress. You also join local meetups where you can network and learn from others with similar interests. By engaging in these learning communities, you expand your knowledge and skills, driving your personal growth. Developing emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is crucial for personal and professional success. Effective communication helps develop EQ by enhancing your ability to understand and manage emotions. Here's an example. In a conflict situation with a coworker, instead of reacting impulsively, you take a moment to process your emotions. You use I statements to express your feelings. I feel frustrated when deadlines are missed because it affects our project timeline. By communicating your emotions clearly and calmly, you address the issue constructively and maintain a positive relationship. Practicing assertiveness. Assertiveness is about communicating your needs and boundaries clearly and respectfully. Here's how to practice it. Example: you often find yourself agreeing to additional tasks at work, even when your plate is full. To practice assertiveness, you start by saying no to non-essential tasks. You might say, I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm currently at capacity with my existing responsibilities. This clear and respectful communication helps you manage your workload and maintain a healthy work-life balance. Networking for personal growth. Building a network of supportive and inspiring individuals can significantly impact your personal development. Here's how. Example: you're interested in advancing your career in marketing. You attend industry conferences, participate in online forums, and connect with professionals on LinkedIn. By actively communicating and building relationships with others in your field, you gain valuable insights, advice, and opportunities for growth. Conclusion: communication as a tool for personal development. Effective communication is a powerful tool for personal development. By enhancing self-awareness, building confidence, setting and achieving goals, seeking feedback, managing stress, fostering relationships, developing emotional intelligence, practicing assertiveness, and networking, you can drive your personal growth and achieve your full potential. Remember, personal development is a continuous journey. Keep honing your communication skills and you'll find new ways to grow and improve. Stick around, because in the next chapter, we're going to explore mending broken communication. See you there. Chapter 10: Mending Broken Communication. We've discussed how effective communication can enhance personal development, but what happens when communication breaks down? Broken communication can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and strained relationships. However, it's never too late to repair and rebuild these connections. In this chapter, we'll explore strategies for mending broken communication, complete with practical examples to guide you through the process. Recognizing the signs of broken communication. Before you can mend broken communication, it's important to recognize the signs. These may include frequent misunderstandings, avoidance, and unresolved conflicts. Let's look at an example. Example: you've noticed that your conversations with your partner often end in arguments, and you both have started avoiding certain topics. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward addressing the issues and repairing your communication. Taking responsibility. Taking responsibility for your part in the breakdown is crucial. Here's how to approach it. Example: you realize that during arguments, you tend to interrupt your partner, which escalates the conflict. You acknowledge this behavior by saying, "I've noticed that I interrupt you when we argue, and I'm sorry for that. I'll work on listening better." This admission can pave the way for more open and honest communication. Apologizing sincerely. A sincere apology can go a long way in mending broken communication. Here's how to do it effectively. Example: you had a falling out with a close friend due to a misunderstanding. You reach out and say, "I'm really sorry for how I handled our last conversation. I didn't mean to hurt you, and I regret not listening to your perspective." A heartfelt apology shows that you value the relationship and are willing to make amends. Practicing active listening. Active listening is key to rebuilding trust and understanding. Here's an example. Example: during a difficult conversation with a colleague, you focus on truly listening to their concerns without interrupting. You make eye contact, nod, and summarize their points to show you understand. "So what you're saying is you felt overlooked during the project. Is that right?" This approach helps validate their feelings and opens the door for constructive dialogue. Communicating openly and honestly. Openness and honesty are essential for mending communication. Here's how to practice it. Example: you've had ongoing tension with a family member due to unspoken issues. You decide to have an open conversation, starting with, "I've been feeling distant lately, and I think it's because we haven't talked about what's bothering us. Can we discuss it openly?" This invitation to honest dialogue can help clear the air and address underlying issues. Establishing new communication patterns. Sometimes old communication patterns need to be changed to mend broken communication. Here's an example. Example: you and your partner have realized that arguments often escalate because you discuss serious issues late at night when you're both tired. You agree to set aside time during the day to talk about important matters, creating a more constructive environment for these discussions. Seeking mediation or counseling. In some cases, professional help can be beneficial. Here's how it can help. Example: you and a coworker have ongoing conflicts that affect your work. You suggest involving a mediator to facilitate a constructive conversation. The mediator helps both of you express your concerns and find common ground, leading to a resolution that benefits both parties. Forgiving and moving forward. Forgiveness is a crucial step in mending communication. Here's how to approach it. Example: after a heated argument, you and your sibling decide to forgive each other and move forward. You say, "I forgive you for the things that were said in anger, and I hope you can forgive me too. Let's work on being more understanding with each other." Forgiveness helps release lingering resentment and rebuilds trust. Reinforcing positive communication. Once you've mended broken communication, reinforcing positive habits is important. Here's an example. Example: you and your team have resolved a major conflict at work. To maintain positive communication, you implement regular check-ins where everyone can voice their concerns and suggestions. This ongoing practice helps prevent future breakdowns and keeps communication channels open. Conclusion: rebuilding stronger connections. Mending broken communication takes effort and commitment, but it's worth it for the health of your relationships. By recognizing the signs, taking responsibility, apologizing sincerely, practicing active listening, communicating openly, establishing new patterns, seeking professional help when needed, forgiving, and reinforcing positive habits, you can repair and strengthen your connections. Remember, it's never too late to mend broken communication. With patience and persistence, you can rebuild trust and understanding, paving the way for healthier and more fulfilling relationships. Chapter 11. Cultivating Listening Skills. So far, we've explored various aspects of effective communication, including mending broken communication. Now, let's focus on a skill that's often overlooked but incredibly powerful: listening. Cultivating strong listening skills can transform your interactions and relationships. In this chapter, we'll dive into practical strategies to become a better listener, with detailed examples to illustrate these techniques. The importance of listening. Listening is more than just hearing words. It's about understanding the message behind them. Effective listening can improve relationships, enhance learning, and foster empathy. Here's why it's essential. Example: imagine your friend is sharing a problem they're facing. Instead of just hearing their words, you pay close attention to their tone and body language, which indicates they're feeling overwhelmed. By truly listening, you can offer the support they need, strengthening your bond. Practicing active listening. Active listening involves fully engaging with the speaker. Here's how to practice it. Example: during a team meeting, you focus on the speaker, make eye contact, and nod to show you're engaged. When they finish speaking, you summarize their points. So, you're suggesting we shift the project deadline to ensure quality. Is that right? This technique shows respect and ensures you've understood their message. Avoiding interruptions. Interrupting can hinder effective communication. Here's a strategy to avoid it. Example: in a conversation with your partner, you resist the urge to jump in with your thoughts. Instead, you let them finish speaking before responding. When they've finished, you say, "I appreciate you sharing that. Here's what I think." By waiting, you show respect and allow them to fully express themselves. Reflective listening. Reflective listening involves mirroring back what the speaker has said to show understanding. Here's how to do it. Example: your colleague expresses frustration about a project. You respond with, "It sounds like you're really frustrated with the current project timeline. Is that correct?" This technique helps the speaker feel heard and understood, and it clarifies any potential misunderstandings. Listening without judgment. Listening without judgment creates a safe space for open communication. Here's an example. Example: a friend confides in you about a personal issue. Instead of offering immediate advice or judgment, you simply listen and say, "That sounds really tough. How are you feeling about it?" This non-judgmental approach encourages them to open up and share more. Asking open-ended questions. Open-ended questions encourage deeper conversation. Here's how to use them. Example: during a performance review, instead of asking, "Did you meet your goals?" you ask, "Can you walk me through how you approached your goals this quarter?" This type of question invites more detailed responses and provides better insights. Paying attention to nonverbal cues. Nonverbal cues, like body language and facial expressions, are crucial in understanding the full message. Here's how to pay attention. Example: In a discussion with a team member, you notice they're crossing their arms and avoiding eye contact. These nonverbal cues suggest they might be uncomfortable. You might say, "I noticed you seem a bit uneasy. Is there something on your mind?" Acknowledging nonverbal signals can help address underlying issues. Practicing patience. Patience is key to effective listening, especially in emotionally charged conversations. Here's how to practice it. Example: your child is upset about a disagreement with a friend. Instead of rushing to offer solutions, you patiently listen as they explain the situation in detail. You respond with, "It sounds like you're really hurt by what happened. Let's talk more about it." This patience shows you value their feelings and thoughts. Clarifying and paraphrasing. Clarifying and paraphrasing ensure you understand the speaker correctly. Here's how to do it. Example: in a brainstorming session, a colleague presents a complex idea. You paraphrase to clarify. "So, what you're suggesting is we integrate the new software into our existing system to improve efficiency. Is that right?" This technique confirms your understanding and shows you're actively engaged. Giving feedback. Constructive feedback helps improve communication. Here's how to provide it. Example: after a team presentation, you give feedback by saying, "I really liked how you presented the data clearly. One area for improvement could be engaging the audience more with questions. What do you think?" This balanced feedback shows you listened attentively and care about their development. Conclusion: the power of listening. Cultivating strong listening skills can transform your interactions, making you a more empathetic and effective communicator. By practicing active listening, avoiding interruptions, reflecting, listening without judgment, asking open-ended questions, paying attention to nonverbal cues, practicing patience, clarifying, and giving feedback, you can significantly improve your communication skills. Remember, listening is an ongoing practice that requires patience and mindfulness. Keep honing your skills, and you'll see the positive impact on your relationships and personal growth. Chapter 12: Using Communication to Achieve Success. We've explored the art of listening, and now it's time to focus on how you can leverage communication to achieve success in various aspects of your life. Effective communication is a powerful tool that can open doors, build strong networks, and propel you toward your goals. In this chapter, we'll dive into strategies to harness the power of communication for personal and professional success, with practical examples to guide you along the way. Setting clear goals and expectations. Clear communication begins with setting clear goals and expectations. Here's how to do it. Example: you're leading a team on a new project. Instead of vague instructions, you outline specific goals. Our goal is to increase our social media engagement by 20% over the next quarter. Each team member will be responsible for creating and scheduling posts twice a week. Clear goals and expectations help ensure everyone is on the same page and working towards a common objective. Networking and building relationships. Building a strong network is essential for success. Here's a strategy to enhance your networking skills. Example: you attend a professional conference with the goal of expanding your network. Instead of sticking with familiar faces, you introduce yourself to new people. "Hi, I'm your name, and I work in your field. I'm interested in learning more about their field." You exchange contact information and follow up with a LinkedIn connection request, along with a personalized message. This proactive approach helps build valuable professional relationships. Mastering persuasion and influence. Persuasive communication can help you influence others and achieve your goals. Here's how to master it. Example: you're pitching a new idea to your boss. Instead of just presenting the idea, you frame it in terms of benefits. Implementing this new software will streamline our workflow, reduce errors by 15%, and save the company $10,000 annually. By highlighting the positive impact, you make a compelling case for your idea. Effective public speaking. Public speaking is a crucial skill for achieving success. Here's how to enhance your public speaking abilities. Example: you've been invited to speak at an industry event. To prepare, you practice your speech multiple times, focus on clear and concise messaging, and incorporate engaging visuals. During your presentation, you use confident body language and make eye contact with the audience. Afterward, you follow up with attendees who expressed interest in your topic. This preparation and follow-up help you leave a lasting impression and expand your professional network. Conflict resolution. Handling conflicts effectively is key to maintaining productive relationships. Here's how to navigate conflicts. Example: you have a disagreement with a colleague about project priorities. Instead of letting the conflict escalate, you suggest a meeting to discuss the issue. You start the conversation by acknowledging their perspective. I understand that you're concerned about meeting the client's deadline. Let's find a solution that addresses both our priorities. This collaborative approach helps resolve the conflict and maintain a positive working relationship. Negotiation skills. Negotiation is an essential communication skill for achieving success. Here's a practical example. Example: you're negotiating a salary increase with your manager. You prepare by researching industry salary standards and highlighting your achievements. Over the past year, I've successfully led 3 major projects that increased our revenue by 15% based on industry standards. I believe a salary adjustment is warranted. This well-prepared, fact-based approach strengthens your negotiation position. Leveraging feedback for growth. Seeking and using feedback can propel your personal and professional growth. Here's how to leverage feedback effectively. Example: after completing a major project, you ask your supervisor for feedback. I'd like to know your thoughts on my performance and any areas where I can improve. You take the feedback seriously and create an action plan to address any areas for improvement. By showing a willingness to learn and grow, you demonstrate your commitment to excellence. Enhancing team collaboration. Effective communication fosters better team collaboration. Here's a strategy to improve teamwork. Example: you're leading a project team and want to ensure effective collaboration. You schedule regular check-ins where team members can share updates, challenges, and ideas. You also create a shared project management tool to keep everyone informed and aligned. This structured communication approach ensures that everyone is working together efficiently. Personal branding. Your personal brand is how you present yourself to the world. Here's how to communicate your brand effectively. Example: you're looking to advance in your career and want to establish a strong personal brand. You start by creating a professional LinkedIn profile that highlights your skills, achievements, and endorsements. You also write articles and share insights related to your field. By consistently communicating your expertise and value, you build a strong personal brand that attracts opportunities. Adapting to different communication styles. Adapting your communication style to different audiences can enhance your effectiveness. Here's how to do it. Example: you're presenting a technical project to a non-technical audience. Instead of using jargon, You simplify your language and use analogies to explain complex concepts. Think of our data system like a library where books, data, are organized in a way that makes them easy to find. This adaptation ensures your message is understood by everyone, regardless of their technical background. Conclusion: communication as a path to success. Using communication to achieve success involves setting clear goals, building strong relationships, mastering persuasion, handling conflicts, negotiating effectively, leveraging feedback, enhancing team collaboration, and developing a personal brand. By honing these skills and adapting to different situations, you can unlock new opportunities and reach your personal and professional goals. Remember, effective communication is a journey of continuous improvement. Keep practicing and refining your skills, and you'll find yourself on the path to success. Stick around, because in the next chapter, we're going to explore communication in times of stress. See you there. Chapter 13: Communication in Times of Stress. We've covered a lot of ground on effective communication, but today we're tackling a particularly challenging area: communication in times of stress. Whether it's personal stress, work-related pressure, or global crises, stress can significantly impact how we interact with others. In this chapter, we'll explore strategies to maintain clear and effective communication, even when stress levels are high, complete with practical examples to help you navigate these tough times. Recognizing stress and its impact on communication. First things first, let's talk about recognizing when stress is affecting your communication. Stress can make us more irritable, less patient, and prone to misunderstandings. Here's an example to illustrate this. Example: you're working on a major project with a tight deadline. You notice that you're snapping at your colleagues over minor issues and having trouble focusing during meetings. Recognizing these signs is crucial because it allows you to take a step back and address the stress before it further disrupts your communication. Practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness can be a powerful tool to help you stay present and calm during stressful times. Here's how you can incorporate mindfulness into your daily routine. Example: before starting a high-pressure meeting, take a few minutes to practice deep breathing exercises. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth. This simple practice can help calm your mind and body, making you more centered and ready to communicate effectively. Active listening under stress. Active listening is even more critical during stressful times. It ensures that you fully understand the other person's perspective and respond thoughtfully. Here's an example. During a stressful team meeting, you find yourself distracted and anxious. Instead of letting these feelings take over, you consciously decide to focus on what your colleagues are saying. You make eye contact, nod in agreement, and summarize their points to show you're engaged. So, what you're saying is, we need to prioritize the marketing campaign to meet our targets, right? This approach helps maintain clear communication and shows respect for your colleagues' input. Using I statements. Using I statements helps you express your feelings without sounding accusatory, which is especially useful during stressful times. Here's how to do it. Example: you're feeling overwhelmed by your workload and need to communicate this to your manager. Instead of saying, "You're giving me too much work," you use an I statement. "I'm feeling overwhelmed with my current tasks and I'm concerned about meeting all my deadlines. Can we discuss prioritizing some of these tasks?" This way, you express your feelings and needs without blaming others, which can lead to a more constructive conversation. Taking breaks to manage stress. Taking regular breaks is essential for managing stress and maintaining effective communication. Here's a practical example. You're working on a complex project and start feeling your stress levels rise. Instead of pushing through, you decide to take a short break. You step outside for a few minutes, take a walk, and clear your mind. When you return, you're more focused and better able to communicate with your team about the project. Setting boundaries. Setting clear boundaries can help manage stress and improve communication. Here's how to do it. You've been receiving work emails late into the night, which is affecting your sleep and increasing your stress. You decide to set a boundary by turning off email notifications after 7 p.m. You communicate this boundary to your team. To ensure I'm well rested and effective during the day, I won't be checking emails after 7 p.m. I'll respond first thing in the morning. This clear communication helps manage expectations and reduces stress. Seeking support. Seeking support from others can help you cope with stress and communicate more effectively. Here's an example. You're dealing with a personal issue that's affecting your work. You decide to talk to a trusted friend or mentor about it. You say, "I'm going through a tough time and could really use some advice and support." This conversation can provide you with new perspectives and emotional support, helping you manage your stress better. Staying positive. Maintaining a positive attitude can help reduce stress and improve communication. Here's how to practice positivity. During a challenging project, focus on positive aspects and express gratitude to your team. "I know this project is tough, but I'm really impressed with how we're handling it. Thank you for your hard work and dedication." This positive reinforcement can boost morale and improve overall communication within the team. Managing conflicts. Conflict can become more intense during stressful times, so managing it effectively is crucial. Here's a strategy to handle conflicts. You have a disagreement with a colleague about project priorities. Instead of letting the conflict escalate, you suggest a meeting to discuss the issue. You start the conversation by acknowledging their perspective. "I understand that you're concerned about meeting the client's deadline. Let's find a solution that addresses both our priorities." This collaborative approach helps resolve the conflict and maintain a positive working relationship. Practicing empathy. Empathy can go a long way in reducing stress and fostering better communication. Here's how to practice it. A team member seems unusually stressed and quiet. Instead of ignoring it, you check in with them. "I've noticed you seem a bit stressed lately. Is everything okay? Is there anything I can do to help?" This shows that you care about their well-being and are willing to support them, which can improve their stress levels and your working relationship. Conclusion: navigating stress with effective communication. Communicating effectively during stressful times is challenging, but it's crucial for maintaining healthy relationships and achieving goals. By recognizing stress, practicing mindfulness, actively listening, using I statements, taking breaks, setting boundaries, seeking support, staying positive, managing conflicts, and practicing empathy, you can navigate stress more effectively and communicate more clearly. Remember, stress is a part of life, but it doesn't have to derail your communication. With the right strategies, you can maintain clarity and connection even in the most stressful situations. Chapter 14: The Power of Storytelling in Communication. We've covered a lot about effective communication, and now it's time to explore a powerful tool that can captivate and inspire: storytelling. Storytelling is not just for bedtime. It's a vital skill that can enhance your communication in personal and professional settings. In this chapter, we'll dive into the art of storytelling, with practical examples to help you become a master storyteller. The impact of stories. Stories have the power to engage, persuade, and connect people on an emotional level. They make complex information more relatable and memorable. Here's why storytelling is so effective. Example: imagine you're at a business presentation. The speaker starts with, "Let me tell you about a time when our company faced a major challenge and how we overcame it." This immediately grabs your attention and makes you curious about the outcome, making the information more engaging. Elements of a good story. A compelling story typically includes these elements: a clear structure, relatable characters, a conflict or challenge, and a resolution. Here's how to incorporate these elements. Example: you're preparing a presentation about a successful project. You structure your story with: beginning, last year, we faced a major drop in customer satisfaction. Characters: our team, led by Jane, our customer service manager, was determined to turn things around. Conflict: we identified that long wait times were the main issue, causing frustration among our customers. Resolution: by implementing a new ticketing system, we reduced wait times by 50%, leading to a significant increase in customer satisfaction. Using personal stories. Personal stories can make your communication more authentic and relatable. Here's an example. Example: you're giving a speech on resilience. You share a personal story. "A few years ago, I was laid off from my job unexpectedly. It was a tough time, but I used it as an opportunity to pursue my passion for writing. Today, I'm a published author and happier than ever." This personal anecdote illustrates your point and connects with your audience on a deeper level. Storytelling in business. Storytelling can be a powerful tool in business communication. Here's how to use it effectively. Example: you're pitching a new product to potential investors. Instead of just listing features, you tell a story. Meet Lisa, a busy working mom. She struggled to find time to cook healthy meals for her family. That's why we created Quick Chef, a smart kitchen appliance that prepares meals in under 30 minutes. Lisa now has more time to spend with her family thanks to Quick Chef. This story makes your pitch more compelling and relatable. Using data to tell stories. Data can be dry, but combining it with storytelling makes it more engaging. Here's how. Example: you're presenting quarterly sales results to your team. Instead of just showing charts and numbers, you weave a story. In Q1, we faced a dip in sales due to supply chain issues, however. Thanks to our new strategy implemented in Q2, we saw a 20% increase. Let me tell you about how our team overcame the challenges and achieved this success. This approach helps your audience understand the data within a meaningful context. Crafting a narrative for change. When proposing changes, a well-crafted narrative can help persuade others. Here's how to do it. Example: you're proposing a new workflow to improve efficiency. You start with a story. "A few months ago, our team was overwhelmed with manual tasks, leading to frequent errors and delays. By adopting this new automated system, we can reduce manual work by 40%, allowing us to focus on more strategic tasks and improve overall productivity." This narrative illustrates the problem and the positive impact of the proposed change. Storytelling in leadership. Leaders can use storytelling to inspire and motivate their teams. Here's an example. Example: you're a team leader addressing your team during a difficult project. You share a story. Years ago, during a critical project, we faced similar challenges. It seemed impossible to meet the deadline, but through collaboration and hard work, we not only met the deadline but exceeded our goals. I believe in this team's ability to do the same. This story boosts morale and reinforces a positive outcome through teamwork. Practicing storytelling. Like any skill, storytelling improves with practice. Here's how to hone your storytelling skills. Example: you decide to practice storytelling by sharing a short story at the beginning of each team meeting. You might start with, "This week, I read an interesting article about how small change in routine can significantly boost productivity. Here's how it worked for one company." Regular practice helps you become more comfortable and effective in using stories to communicate. Visual storytelling. Visual aids can enhance your storytelling by making it more vivid and memorable. Here's how to incorporate visuals. Example: you're presenting a case study. Instead of just talking about it, you use a combination of images, charts, and videos to tell the story. Here's a photo of the team during the initial brainstorming session. This chart shows our progress over time, and this video highlights the final product in action. Visual elements help bring your story to life and keep the audience engaged. Conclusion: harnessing the power of storytelling. Storytelling is a powerful tool that can transform your communication. By incorporating clear structure, relatable characters, personal anecdotes, and visual elements, you can make your messages more engaging and memorable. Whether you're in business, leadership, or personal interactions, mastering the art of storytelling can help you connect with others and achieve your goals. Remember, everyone has a story to tell. Keep practicing and refining your storytelling skills, and you'll find new ways to inspire and influence those around you. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the power of communication. Here's to your continued success in all your communication endeavors. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this journey of mastering communication. We've explored everything from effective listening and empathetic dialogue to the power of storytelling. I hope these chapters have provided you with valuable insights and practical tools to enhance your communication skills in all aspects of your life. Remember, communication is a lifelong journey. Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep refining your skills. Whether you're navigating personal relationships, advancing your career, or simply connecting with others, effective communication is your key to success. If you enjoyed this series and found it helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Holistic Literary. Your support helps me continue to create content that empowers and inspires. Stay tuned for more insightful content, and as always, feel free to share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. I'm here to help you on your journey to becoming a master communicator. Thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, keep communicating effectively and living your best life.